So hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am just going to take a moment to reintroduce myself as Mrs. Taylor, which is bonkers. Like, it's so funny. Mrs. Taylor's my mum. I've been a miss for so long now that like gotten used to it, but I am here, as you can probably guess, to talk about our wedding, which was the 10th of September 2021. It was on a Friday and it was possibly one of the best days of our lives, if not the best day, which sounds like a bad thing to say in a way when you're a mum, because I've had 3 children and their births are really like the best days I've ever experienced in my life. However, like, they were also at our wedding, and sharing that with them and also sharing that day with all the people who we've really missed over the past like 18 months was, I cannot even describe how amazing it was. But I thought I would come and do a little chat and tell you how it was, explain it. I shared like photos and like little snippets of the day over on my Instagram, but I think I'm guilty of forgetting sometimes that there's a lot more of you on here than there is on there. There's like almost double, I think. So I thought I would come and do it here too. So this is your warning. If you don't like weddingy stuff, you don't like soppiness, you don't like love, switch off now, because it's gonna get romantic up in here. So, where do I begin? In fact, it might be a good time now, because I anticipate this will be long. It was a long day. You might want to go and get yourself a brew, a water. If it's the evening, maybe you want a glass of wine. I'll leave that down to you. But as I mentioned, I'm gonna have a sip myself if you don't mind. It was on a Friday. We chose that day for a few reasons. Namely because like we wanted to get married near to the date that Mark proposed, which was the 14th of September 2019, so 2 years ago, which is crazy because we kind of had like a lovely little bubble for a few months and then COVID hit, and then it's almost like I can hardly remember all of the in-between. But we wanted to get the date as close as possible to that, but the 14th would have been a Tuesday, I think it was, and then like the obvious dates like Saturday was actually like September the 11th, and it was like a date that we kind of would rather honour in a different way, if that makes sense, and for obvious reasons. And then Sunday we thought, oh, that would be a bit pants for people if they've got work the next day. So we went for the Friday, and we also went for a twilight ceremony, which I say every time, it's not because we're big like Edward and Bella and Jacob fans, although I did enjoy the books and the movies when I was younger. It's basically a ceremony that's at the later side of the day. And we went for that because also it was cheaper, and we thought it might be better in terms of length and time with children, and we just kind of wanted to get married and just get on and have fun, and that is really what we did. So on the morning of the 10th, we woke up as you normally would in your house. Like, we didn't stay apart or anything like that. I did spend the evening prior to the wedding on the Thursday with my friend Suzanne, because it just felt like a really nice thing to do, to have that moment with someone who, she's been there and she's done that. She's an amazing friend to me, as is her husband. We all get on so well, and we have really like cemented that friendship even more over the past 18 months, and they are literally 2 of our favourite people in this world. We couldn't love them more. And I went to go and be with her and just chat. I ended up taking Dirty Dancing with me, and we were going to watch that, or maybe Bridesmaids, but in the end we just ended up talking and talking and talking, and it was lovely just to have that night like as those girls. And it also gave Mark like a bit of headspace from me, because I was a lot more nervous by that point, and I think nerves can catch sometimes, if you know what I mean. So we did that. I ended up going to bed quite late because I got back from hers and I didn't go to bed until like on midnight because I was just so jittery. Like wedding jitters, I always used to wonder what they were and why people got them. I was just so nervous. I was so overwhelmed because we'd been worrying about this date for so long because of COVID. We didn't know if it was going to happen. As it were, we were very fortunate. But all the work that you put in, especially when you do a lot of stuff yourself, like I made things and put things together, and I tried so hard to make it like a special day for everyone attending, because in my head, I felt it was very much like it was our day and there was no mistake about that. But I also felt like it was a day for everyone. Like it really symbolized for me how love like reaches so far, and like love has so many different forms, and I just really wanted everyone to let their hair down and enjoy themselves. And I remember sitting on the sofa here, you can't really see it, but I was with this gorgeous boy, he's having a nap at the moment, and we were sat on the sofa and I was just like talking to him / flicking through TikTok / staring into space, and I listened to some of the wedding songs that we'd chosen. I got a bit emotional and I ended up going to bed, and it was quite late, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but in hindsight, like I obviously just needed a bit of time to just think. And in the morning, I woke up, and it was so funny, like waking up in bed next to Mark as usual, like with the kids everywhere, like waking us up, and it was just funny because it felt like a really normal day, except it wasn't. And then, so we got up, we did the whole like breakfast thing, I put a wash load on, I emptied the dishwasher, and I just kept laughing because, you know, like when you're a little girl, you think about the day that you get married, and like, I never thought about all of the like mundane, normal little things that you might do on that day, especially as a mother. And I had like nervous laughter, like putting my bloody laundry in the washing machine. And then we just kind of chilled a bit. Mark took our suitcases into the hotel that we were staying at and checked in early because they said that there was availability for us to do that, which made things a lot easier because it meant that like at the end of the night, everything was already there, what we needed. He sent me a picture and he was like, do you want me to unpack anything? So he put all my skincare out for me and like little bits that he thought I would need. It was so cute. And I really remember that, and then just feeling like a little buzz of excitement for the first time, just thinking like, oh my God, this is actually happening. And then when he got back, I really just needed to get a bit of fresh air because obviously we weren't leaving, I wasn't leaving here until about midday. And so I took Millie over there for a walk, and again that was so surreal because I had like no makeup on. I just chucked some scruffs on because I was going to shower when I got back, and I proper power walked to the point where like it was making me sweat. And I saw other dogs and chatted to other people, dog walkers, like I always do, and like it was just bizarre to me because everyone else was going about their like normal day, and then I was like, I wonder if people can tell, like, because they won't, but I'm like, I'm getting married today. And we did that walk and I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed having time with him. I had loads of people ask me if he was going to be there, but he is such a lovable, like needy, affectionate boy, that I think over time he would have like started off really overexcited and then probably got quite stressed in the end, and we just didn't think it was fair with like music and all of that for him. So he actually had a sleepover at my auntie's house, and like one of her friends watched like my auntie's dogs and him, and they brought their dog and they had a big play date, so that was lovely. And yeah, we did the walkies, got home, I nipped in the shower, and Mark went for a run for a similar reason, just to sort of pound out some energy. I didn't run because if you've seen like on Instagram, I fall over a lot when I'm running. I'm a very clumsy person, by the way, so it doesn't come as a surprise to me. But last time I fell, I cut all my palms quite badly. I like grazed my elbow, I bruised my leg, and I just, towards like the closer we got to the wedding, I like just kind of pulled off from running and did lots of speed walking with the dog instead, just because I didn't want to look. Can you imagine if I'd have gone for a run in the morning and then turned up with like plasters? Would have been a nightmare, and it would have happened. So we did all that, and then time came for me to leave. So I dropped off a lot of the stuff at the venue already. And I'd done that the day before with my mum and Nikki, my brother's fiance, which was an amazing experience. It was so special to show them and give them a little preview. And the only things that I really had in the car with me were like my dress, Daisy's dress, my veil, my shoes, a big box of makeup. I bought like a plastic, like almost like a crate really from Tesco's. It was on offer for £3, and I saw it when I was doing my grocery shop, and I was like, I'm having you. And it was perfect because I put everything in there from like deodorant, hairspray, baby wipes in case of any mistakes, face creams, tissues, a calming herbal remedy type spray that I could smell to calm me down, loads of different things. And I found that really, really useful. Like my perfume was in there, my tape type things were in there, like everything was all good to go. Packed it all, I'd chosen all my makeup, and it felt good to just have it all in one place. So I picked up Suzanne, I drove myself there, and then Suzanne's husband was going to take Mark in his car, and it just meant there were like less people having to take too many cars. And I also had Daisy with me as well, so it was like handy for her car seat and stuff like that. So I drove us there, picked Suzanne up, and then we drove, and then I got like, I was so nervous, and I was like, I hope it's okay, but I'm not gonna have any music on, and I'm just gonna like concentrate, I'm not gonna drive too fast because I'm so nervous. And I was like, oh my God, can you imagine if like I crashed the car and died on my wedding day? And Suzanne was like, oh my God, Charlotte, calm down. But we got there in one piece, it was fine. Daisy was so excited, and like it was hilarious because Suzanne was just laughing her head off because she was like, oh, I'm so excited, and I was like, oh. But we got there. I anticipated that I might need to set up a few things that I dropped off from the night before, but our venue, which was Style Lodge, like the people there are amazing. They took the initiative with all the bags and boxes and things that I dropped off and set everything up exactly as I'd intended on doing without asking me a single question. They just knew what I wanted. It was amazing. It was like having like the Elves and the Shoemaker kind of vibe, like they just did it all for me. And so when we got there, I felt really emotional seeing it. It's making me feel like that now, but it was just, every time I'd been, it was always set up for like an open day or somebody else's wedding, or there wasn't a wedding on, so it was quite like quiet and not much out. And seeing it set up for my wedding just properly got me. And we walked through, Kaylee and Megan had met us there, so they were already there because we were running a bit late because I was driving like a 94-year-old. And we were in there, we like hugged, and then I saw my bouquet and Daisy's little posy in front of this big mirror, and I saw that they were in big vases and the boys' like pins were laid out. I don't know what they're called, like those things that they put on the collar. And that is the first moment where I cried because I'd never seen them up until that point, and they were beautiful and like exactly what I hoped for. And we spent a bit of time just chilling really. We opened some Prosecco. One of the girls at Style put on, like she was like, right, I'm gonna put some music on for you so you can get in the mood and get all like relaxed and excited and stuff, and what are you into? And we all looked at her and we were like, have you got any like cheesy, embarrassing 90s music? And she was just like, oh my God, I can so do that. So we were listening to the Spice Girls. Daisy and Megan were running around and like dancing and laughing, and I walked around a few times and took it all in because in the lodge that you walk in, there's a little lobby area, there's an office to the left that no one really goes in, and there's like toilets to the right, and then you go through into this huge room which is divided with curtains, so you have the ceremony in one room, then it opens up and that's where all the seating is in the bar, and then the ceremony turns into the dance floor. But I just like took my time looking at it all because my bridal suite was just to the left. And it was all like, you could close the doors and nobody would come in, you could lock them and everything. But I knew that I wouldn't have that much chance to soak it up as time progressed because people would stop coming, and obviously you kind of stay hidden when you're the bride. And yeah, I just made sure to go around and look at every detail and appreciate it. And like, I took everyone's advice. You all told me on here, on Instagram, like soak it up, like just take some time to look at everything and like take in how you feel. And it meant so much to me, because I'm so glad that I did that, because if it wasn't for you, I probably would have just focused on how nervous I felt. So we did that. And then Jen arrived, who was doing my hair, so she started with me, and that was just amazing, because Jen, like, first and foremost was my hairdresser that I met. I walked into a salon one day when I'd had Daisy. I was really, really down at the time, like, just, I was still in carer mode for her. Things were quite tough. I hadn't had my hair cut in about 3-4 years. I just was feeling really blue, and I really wanted to get it done to feel better about myself. And I walked into the first salon that I saw, and then I met Jen, and I've seen her go from strength to strength. She now owns her own place. She's like done wedding hair for years, and she's like amazingly popular now. And I was so proud to have her there, but also as my friend. Like, she's been there for me so much, and it was just amazing. It was amazing to have like people doing things as part of my day, but also there as like people that really meant a lot to me. So she did my hair, then we switched over and she started doing Daisy's hair. I did my own makeup, as you all know. I really enjoyed that process, because everybody kind of just knew that I needed to zone out, and makeup and cooking, they're a bit like two things that I like to do to just relax and switch off. I really enjoy them. They're quite therapeutic to me. So I did my makeup, and initially I was nervous before the day. I thought, God, I hope I've not made a huge mistake here. But I was so happy with the way that I looked on the day. I'm not the perfect bride that you see in the magazines, but I am still a perfect bride, and I was Mark's perfect bride. And it took me all that time to finally get that into my head, that like, you're enough. I think there are so many women these days who just feel like they're not enough because they're not filtered or airbrushed or perfect in some way. But like, you are so perfect. And if you're about to get married, trust me, you are gonna look so beautiful. You really are. You're gonna feel it too. I did my makeup. Like, Damien, who did my photography, he arrived. He was the most amazing person. He's so lovely. Everybody loved him. Rach and Tyler arrived, who filmed our wedding for us. I've not seen that yet. I'm so excited for when that is all done. And everybody just felt like friends. Like, people were like trying to calm me down. Damien gave me like a pep talk. He was like the only sort of like one of the only male figures there at the time, and I kind of needed that. Like, he's seen so many weddings, seen so many brides. I confided in him that I was worried that I like wouldn't look good enough and stuff, and he was just the most amazing person. Rach was like amazing with my kids. She's a mummy too. She helped Kaylee with her false eyelashes, she helped me with mine. She was so reassuring. She was so friendly to me, like with message sends, and she's just like, these people have got my heart. They made that day so special. And it was above and beyond, like, yes, I know when you're paying for a service, like, people have got to do a good job, but it just felt like so much more. They felt like such a special part of my day. I can't explain it. And we were all getting a bit emotional towards the end, and with my dress, you couldn't wear a bra with it because of the way the details were, so I had to like buy these things called perky pairs. I think I showed you them in a past video, and you like stick on the underside of your boob and then like pull the rest of it up and then stick, so it's in a nice place, and you know, the girls are back where they were when they first emerged. So I had to go to the toilet to do that, and I had to take my dress with me, and that was like kind of non-traditional, because normally people help you into your dress and this, that and the other, but there was no way I was getting like my boobs out for everybody to see. I'm just not that girl. So I went in, stuck my boobs on, and then I was laughing because I just had like what looked like two giant pear-shaped plasters over my boobs, and like just my nipples were non-existent. My nipples were like this, like ugh. And then I put this dress on, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and it wasn't done up, and I couldn't do it up on my own. There was a fastening at my neck and a fastening at my waist. I had like one of those little like hook things, and then like a zip, and so it's quite difficult because of the angle doing it on your own. And so I knew that I needed help. And I remember opening this toilet door. It was like a complete like wet room in the bridal suite. It was so beautiful. And everyone was just stood there, and it was all like And then like Suzanne got emotional, Kaylee got emotional, Daisy was like so excited, like, can I get my dress on now? Suzanne did me up, and there's a photo of me where I've still got like a bubble on my wrist. And I'm so nervous, and I'm just there like, whew. And I was so, it was at that point where I was like, I don't even know if I want to look at myself properly now. It's all done up because it cinched my waist in more and stuff. And I looked in the mirror, and like Jen was putting my veil on, and I honestly felt like in that moment I felt more beautiful than I'd ever felt in my life. And I just couldn't believe it was me. It sounds really silly, but like, did you feel the same at your wedding? I don't know, maybe I'm a big freak. And then this is the point where for me it got like quite overwhelming. Like we got Daisy dressed and she was really excited. You could hear the murmur, you know, that from behind these closed doors now that have been locked. And I was really nervous. And then Poppy from Style Lodge came and she was like, right, okay, nearly time. Your dad's gonna come in a minute and come and see you, so obviously that'll like be really emotional, and then the registrars are gonna come and chat to you, just like, you know, the legal side of things. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna take you through round the back to the lobby, because there was a side door out into the garden area, which was stunning. And we'll take you through there, and we will bring you around the front. Daisy and Suzanne will go first once the music starts, and then it'll be your turn. And then I was like, okay, all right then. Oh shit. I was really nervous. The registrars were amazing. The registrar that married us actually also married my auntie and my uncle during like lockdown. They got married privately with just the attendance of my mum and my auntie. So that was really special because, you know, they didn't have that big day. And I kind of hoped at my wedding they danced loads, and I kind of hoped that like they could take that opportunity to kind of have a big day anyway. And so that was really special. The registrars were amazing. Like they brought like little toys and sweets and distractions for the kids. They were so kind to them. The main lady that actually married us made an effort to make the kids a part of the day, but I'm fast forwarding. Anyway, so I saw my dad, that was dead emotional. Made me cry, and I just remember like hugging him and thinking like, oh God, I hope he's proud, and like, oh, it was really special. And then we walked around, and my bouquet, I had my dad here. My dad had to take tissues because I was so nervous. My bouquet, like my hand, like, because it was so bushy, all it was like shaking everywhere, and my dad was like, you're shaking. And I said, yeah, I know, I'm so nervous, Dad. He was like, don't be nervous. He loves you. Be happy. And Poppy was like, right, are we ready? And then we were like, yeah, I think so. She opened this little like peephole door, gave the thumbs up to the registrar, and then the music started, and we mixed things up a bit. So we ended up having Ben Folds, The Luckiest, as my entrance, because the piano at the start is beautiful. And that song means so much to us, it always has done. And Daisy and Suzanne started walking, the doors open. We were held off to the side so nobody could like peep out at us. Daisy was so excited up until that point, and Suzanne told me that like they had Bunny, Teddy and Annie the Sloth all got wedding attire made by Mark's mum. So Bunny was all dressed up, ready to go. And Daisy had planned that Daisy would hold one hand of Bunny's and Suzanne would hold the other. Suzanne got it wrong first and accidentally held an ear. So Daisy was like, no, that's her ear. And they were like swinging Bunny, and then the music started and the doors opened, and Daisy went from like, yeah, this is so cool to you. And then she let go of Bunny, so Suzanne was just holding her, and then grabbed Suzanne's hand. Because I think like for kids especially, it's like so exciting, and then when it happens it's like, oh my gosh, there's quite a lot of people here. And they walked up. Daisy saw people that she knew and loved and like relaxed a little bit and was like waving, and Suzanne like gave her to her dad, and then went and sat down with like my family and stuff, and it was really special. And then it was our turn, and I did again what you told me to do. I walked slowly. I looked at everyone, I smiled at everyone, I tried to take it all in. At first, like I was kind of like this, holding my bouquet and like holding onto my dad. And then I saw my friend Beck and she gave me the warmest smile, and it was just then like, I was like, Charlotte, why are you frightened? These people love you, like they care about you all, like they're so happy for you. Mark, stop it. And then so I made the effort to smile at everyone. I saw my auntie next, I saw Mark's mates and their partners, Mark's sister, her husband, their kids, like my family, my cousins, my aunties, and like my grandparents, and my mum. And then I saw Mark and the boys, and it was like, it just took my breath away, because I don't know, like lockdown was so hard for everyone, but like all of the things that really matter to me in life, I feel like I haven't had for a very long time, or at least not had in the way that like I used to, like time with people. And it just hit me in that moment. I felt so lucky. And there was this amazing man who loved me, and I had loved my son from the outset, given me 2 amazing children, and I honestly felt like my dreams had come true. I'm so sorry for getting emotional, but it was so important to me. And then we did it all. We did the whole marriage thing. I found it really funny because we were like talking in like what felt like ye old English. Mark at one point like stumbled over his words and everybody laughed, and it broke like the tension a bit because we were getting quite emotional, and we were both, he was welling up and I was like this, to be honest. And but I was just so happy, like there were just tears of happiness and joy. I was so happy. And we did all that. And it was perfect because like the kids were fidgety, Bill looked terrified up until a certain point. There are some photos where you can see it on his face because he was doing a reading. And then once he'd done a reading, him and Zidane both did one. And I remember bending down at his level and cupping his face and saying, I'm so proud of you. And giving him a huge hug. And it was the weddings that you see in the movies and stuff, at least like all the ones I've been to, they're always so like perfect. And like people stand in their places and stay still. But then ours was like, we were moving all over the place. The kids were like fidgety, and the Stan was like trying to hide under my dress at one point. I hope no one saw my cellulite, let's be honest. And then it was just beautiful. We did the rings. We did that like awkward bit before, like, does anyone have any reason why these two should not get married? And I remember like scanning the room and doing like a face at everybody, and for some reason like I got my like humour back, and that was funny. And yeah, it was just absolutely perfect. And when we did the kiss, everyone cheered, and I stopped caring about what I looked like. I stopped caring about like being nervous, and I just felt like fireworks. It was the most amazing experience. And then we I don't know, after that, it was that tricky bit where you did the registry thing, and like you sit down and everyone's chatting and taking photos, and everyone just looked really happy, and I kept like looking up at me like, hi. And then it was like, oh, right, no, I need to sign here, so I'd be signing. And then we had a few more photos taken. And then the registrar announced us as like, everybody please stand for, you know, husband and wife, or Mr. and Mrs. Taylor. I forget the like words. And then our exit song started up, and Mark was like, when do we walk? And we had I forget who they are that sing it at the moment, but you know that song where you make my dreams come true, that one. But obviously it starts with the and then it went 101, and then so we started walking then, and it was just so funny, and it was such a fun song to walk out to. Like, we wanted something fun, everyone was smiling at us and clapping, and then we like went round like the back and then back through into the bridal suite. We got ourselves a beer and a glass of prosecco, and we had a bit of time just for us too, because it was like nice to have that moment. And then meanwhile, Style and like our photographer and videographers were arranging the confetti throw. So once everyone was outside, we were then able to sneak through the door that led back into the main ceremony room, come round, and then we walked through, and like there was just an explosion. That's all I can describe it as. It's like a rainbow. Like, all the kids were laughing, the kids were like this, holding up their hands. Like, we had loads of children there, just the way that we intended it to be. Like, kids and children that we like really love and mean the world to us, like from friends and stuff, and their little squeals of joy, I can remember them so clearly. And I remember like my cousin Ed and my other cousin's partner Harry were holding up Stan and Daisy so they could see and like join in properly. And those little acts of kindness that my family and friends showed towards my kids, that meant the world to me. It was so nice. And we walked through and we were in just like absolute hysterics. It was so funny. All the pictures of my face from the day, I'm either laughing my head off or I'm like this, just grinning. And we had a right laugh when we looked after through like the preview photos and stuff, because my face literally just does not change. It's always like that. I just look absolutely over the moon and the world, maybe. Maybe that's a new phrase that we're going with here. And then it was just, it was amazing. We went through to the reception. The weather held off. It was meant to be thunder and lightning, and there was even sunshine. We chatted to everyone. I got to thank people for being there, give people cuddles, just take it all in. And we snuck off for a few photos. We got in a golf buggy and drove to this lake and had photos there, and then it started to drizzle and rain, and we were laughing because it was just funny, like we were getting wet, and the photos were amazing. And we came back and we took some like special family ones with like Mark's family, my family, like my cousins. My Gramps had asked if he could bring his camera and get a big photo of all the cousins together like he used to when we were little, and I was like, Gramps, I've got an even better camera. We'll get Damien to do that, and Damien did that for us, and it was so special to me. And yeah, then we just mooched some more. Everyone was like walking through then. You could get the pizza, so it was an outside pizza store. You literally walked up, ordered what you fancied from like about 7 or 8 options, I think it was. Like amazing ones like mushroom and garlic oil, or undia and honey, and all these that they were beautiful. And you ordered your own. There were chips, there were salads. You just kind of queued up and got it. It was a bit rustic and like a bit like rough and ready, but it was just amazing. We love pizza. I feel like everybody loves pizza. And it was just fun. It was fun. We let everybody else eat. We said kids go first, and we let everybody else get theirs, and then we got ours, because just like we wanted to make sure that everyone else was happy. And we were just enjoying like chatting to people, like having a few more photos taken, like chatting to the kids, playing with the kids, queuing up and like talking to people some more. We took I took my old Instax mini camera, so we started passing that around and everyone was taking selfies. And it was just everything that I hoped it would be and more. I realised even more that the people that we have in our lives and the company we keep, they are like top level human beings. They're incredible people. And we just enjoyed ourselves for a bit. Like all the goodie bags went down really well with the kids. Like my friends were like, oh, thank you. And like the kids were so happy, and it made me happy to see the kids happy. Like they were playing bubbles and running around and like chasing each other and playing games. It was just incredible. Bill and Noah were the first ones in the pizza queue, by the way. They were like sniffing around, and the minute 6 o'clock hit, it was like, we're on it. So they were well happy. And then my brother and Nikki announced us, like his husband and wife, when everyone was sat down and just chilling, like there were drinks on all the tables ready and stuff. And then they announced the speeches, and my dad did a beautiful speech. And like I really missed my mum and dad and all my family over the past few months. Like you probably have noticed that I've not really seen them that much at all until like recently, and I really did try my best to stay away and keep everyone safe, especially because we've got kids at school and you're worried about the spread initially, and just like having them there and like making people laugh and making people like emotional. It was amazing. Then it was passed over to Mark. And Mark's speech, like he's someone that doesn't really like enjoy public speaking, which is crazy to me because he's such a funny person. But his speech just nailed it. It was short and sweet, but it was funny. He was so kind about me. Like the things that he said were just absolutely beautiful. And he was brilliant. Like so brilliant. It meant the world to me, like just listening to these two amazing men in my life. It was so good. And then it was meant to be my turn, and Mark put the mic down. Bill appeared out of nowhere, grabbed this microphone. He was crazed and fueled with pizza, pick and mix from the pick and mix stall that we had, and just sheer joy and excitement. His hair was sweaty, his face was flushed, his shirt was undone and pulled out of his trousers. Grabs this microphone, pulls open a chair, stands on it, and he goes, "Everybody, let's party!" Mic drop, runs off, and then we died. Like we absolutely wet ourselves. Like I couldn't breathe, and then like Bill came over and gave me a hug, and I don't know where it came from, but it was amazing. And then the only downside was that that was a tough act to follow because I was yet to do my speech, so I did it. And like I won't go into what I said because like that was, all of those bits were like really special and like for family and friends and that kind of thing, but it was really emotional being there, and I got a bit caught up thanking everyone, and yeah, it was beautiful. And then at the end of it, I just raised a toast to like love and life in all of its forms and everybody that was there as well. And then I said, and now Mr. Taylor, can I have this dance? Then we walked over to the dance floor. We waited for the song to come on, and then we danced like two 10-year-olds that like have got a crush on each other at the school disco. We could have been dancing to like Savage Garden or something. It was hilarious. Like I love dancing, Mark less so, and so we just took the piss out of each other and laughed, and then it was literally like this. You know how some people do like dirty dancing dances and like actually do the dirty dancing dance, or like do spins and moves and very strictly. That was not us. But then the kids came on, and that's when it was beautiful, because like there's a photo where Mark's holding Bill up in the air and Bill's just like this, and Mark's looking at him with so much love, and I'm twirling Daisy. He's just like a whirlwind, and then I've got a little sleepy, overwhelmed Stan on my hip. And then the song changed to Jason Mraz, Have It All, because I wanted to include a song that like was in dedication of like my kids. If you listen to it, you'll know what I mean. And then I went to go and pull everyone onto the dance floor, but as I did, I might as well have not bothered because it was like a stampede. I felt like Mufasa from The Lion King, in all honesty. I didn't know if I was going to survive. People just came. And like there was a big circle at one point, and then I don't know if it was my brother or my cousin Joe maybe, or someone grabbed my grandma to dance. And then my mum was like, "You should ask Gramps to dance." So I walked up to him and I pulled him into the middle of the circle and danced with him, and he looked so happy, and I put my arms around him, and then like over my shoulder, like I see my mum and my aunties getting emotional, and it was just amazing. like the whole thing. And we danced and I did mummy duties and got fruit shoots and gave little 3-year-old cuddles, and I danced with my friends' kids, I danced with my cousins. There was one point where we were doing Proud Mary and it was like rolling, and we were all like doing it in a circle and being silly. Tried to Mark's family, tried to like Mark's mates, my mates, tried to circulate as much as I could and soak up every single person that was there. Had more photos, just had loads and loads of fun. And Mark got absolutely off his head, which was so funny. He kept walking around telling people that he loved them and trying to like pick them up and stuff, and he was just so cute. He was hilarious. And then we just enjoyed the evening together. Like, all the pressure was off. We just had fun, and it will literally, it will forever be like ingrained in my memory, like just there forever. And it will always be such a special day. Like, I can't explain how much it meant, and how special it was. And I'm sure I probably don't need to, because I'm sure you get it. It was just everything that mattered to me in that world was just there. And it was funny as well. It was so funny. There were so many moments where we just laughed our heads off, and everybody just came together. Like, my family basically adopted our friend, their daughter. Like, they loved her. So she was sat on my auntie's knee when we were doing the speeches and stuff, and like my cousins were dancing with like the kids and the kids' friends, and like we did a firework bit. I always say this, Mark always laughs. We did like a sparkler bit where everybody went outside and they all got sparklers, and we walked out into it, and just the night sky and all of these lights, it lit up all of our friends and family's faces, and they all looked so happy and so like just randomly excited by a sparkler. It was adorable. The kids loved it, and the photos are just beautiful. And I remember just being so happy and thinking, oh my God, is this even real? And then, yeah, it was over, and we just sort of spent the weekend as a family, like soaking it up, recovering in Mark's case, sleeping it off. And then on Monday we went to Bath for 4 nights. So we left after the school run and left on Friday morning. We didn't even eat breakfast actually, we just got up and came back. And it took a while, like the driving, especially on Friday, was ages, but we just spent like time together. We relaxed. We did loads of things that we couldn't normally do with kids. We enjoyed some unexpected sunshine. We experienced like uninterrupted romance, which was quite nice. Loads of drinks, nice food, taking in a new place, looking at like, you know, the culture and the history. We did a little cruise, and it was just amazing, not least because it was nice to have a bit of time just us two on our honeymoon, but also after the past 18 months, I don't think like we realised how tired we were. So to have a bit of time like that was incredible, and we're so grateful to like my family and like my mum and dad for having the kids, and then like family and friends for helping out, like either with dogs or like kids clubs and stuff. It was so nice of them. And now we're here, and I'm just on Clyde 9, kind of coming down from it a bit, like a bit of wedding blues. I do miss it, but it's nice to not have to plan it anymore. And yeah, I don't really know what else I can say, but I hope that you enjoyed this. It's probably a bit like it feels self-indulgent, but then like I've been asked already if I'm gonna do one of these, and then obviously when our wedding video comes, if we feel like comfortable sharing it, and it's not too personal and stuff, we'll hopefully share that too. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, because if you left a kind comment on here, or like messaged me on Instagram, or you commented on my latest photos, or you sent me messages of good luck, or you celebrated with us, that was so kind of you. Because like our wedding was no different from anybody else's, no more special, no more important, but you took time out of your day to just show a bit of kindness, and it was so appreciated. The online world isn't always as kind and as nice, and I just thank you so much. So yeah, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna try and edit this, but I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and the rest of your week. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're feeling safe and loved, and I will hopefully see you all very, very soon.